Hey, what's up? I'm going to the reality collab at Houston City College. Today's Friday, and I'm going to check on Univah to see how things are going. So, when you walk in, this is what you're going to see, and this is the first floor, and that's the reality collab, which is upstairs. And Ruben is expecting me, so let's go. Okay, so I am back. Miss India, do you want to say hi? So I didn't get a chance to show Miss India our software last time she was gone, but he's here today, and I'm going to be testing it on your Alienware computer. So thank you guys so much. Yes, the supercomputer. Thank you for having me today, and I can't wait. All right, so let's check out the specs here, guys. And it's going to be using this one. Oh gosh, this is going to be fun. Let me open up the task manager. And as you guys can see here, we have what I typically do. Performance. Okay, click on performance. And for CPU, we have this right here. Okay, so that's the CPU. And for GPU, we have, okay, we have this one. So this is an Nvidia GeForce RTX 5070. And it has 12 gig VRAM. Amazing. Almost 2000 FPS on this beast. Wow. Okay, so I'm excited to play with this. This is awesome. Wow. Okay, I don't even know where to start. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the dark theme. So let's go ahead and switch to the dark theme. Since we are using Univah Pro, we have access to the light and dark theme. So here we are. And wow. My laptop, I have an RTX 4060. So I never get to see FPS this high. The highest I've ever seen on my 4060 on an empty scene is 1200, like about 1200 FPS. So this is a new experience for me. This is awesome. Wow. Okay. So the things we typically can do with Pro, let's see. Okay, we add a floor and we add a cube and we add a point light. I'm going to add a point light, which I'm going to translate up. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Wow. I'm going to click on this cube here and wow. Okay. So we are in action. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that light and delete, just going to delete everything. And let's try adding an atmosphere. So as you guys know, Univah is a real-time atmospheric renderer. So this is the planet, and I'm going to push it to something like that. Then I'm going to add a cloud. Okay. I'm going to add also a sky. Okay. Okay. So with our clouds added, we can, of course, Okay. We have our cloud parameters. We can change the coverage. Miss India, are you seeing how I'm controlling the weather? Look at that. Make it less hot, right? Right? So look at the FPS. Wow. Okay, so I can change the frequency. Wow. Wow. And what I love about this is I can add another layer. Okay, so I've added another cloud layer. So I have the first cloud layer, and then I have the second cloud layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this one up using our gizmos. So, okay, so as you can see, guys, I have added two cloud layers, and I am controlling the speed of the top. You see the top layer? Right. So this is super cool because as you can see, we have cloud and then we have cloud. So if I turn off the first cloud layer, that's what we have. That's the upper cloud. So there we go. That's the upper cloud. And this is the lower cloud. Yeah. And I can fly up here so you guys can see. And this is our planetary renderer, guys. Okay. It's planetary rendering. It renders the whole planet to scale. And I can color these clouds different colors. Each layer can be a different color. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Okay, so this is a good example of being able to see the different layers of clouds. So you have one layer, a second layer, and we're just flying through in between these clouds because again, that's the lower layer, and then we have a top layer above us, as you can see. So, and we're still above 60 FPS, running very high quality clouds, multiple layers of clouds. I love being able to push this thing and see what it can do. This is awesome. So, uh, so that's a new addition that we've added is the ability to add multi layers, and it's always been there. You probably just didn't notice it. So when you go to cloud, it says new cloud layer, and it says that because you can layer them. So you can have your lower clouds, and I highly recommend you, probably give these more descriptive names. So let's call this lower layer. Yeah, so lower layer. There we go. Mhm. This way, as we fly up, there we go. All right. So let's go ahead and start testing a scene here on the RTX 5070. All right. So The goal of this test is just to see at what point importing these really high quality 4K and 8K assets will slow things down. So we're going to be checking the FPS, checking the performance, checking how textures load, importing speeds, you know, typical stuff. So, all right. And we're probably going to do some motion graphics, religion VFX stuff. Okay. Okay, great. So, switching to the colored axis grid, just so you guys know, you do have access to the other grid system. So, if you need to know if Univah is a Y-up software, it's really easy to check that. You just go to the world editor and you can choose to show the colored axis grid. Okay. So that can be very helpful knowing which way is Y, which way is Z, which way is X. So that can be very, very useful actually. So we have it disabled by default, but you can always, you can pick your grid. Okay. All right. So here I have a directional light in the scene, and I'm just going to play with it. Finally get to have shadows back on. In a lot of our recent videos, because we've been testing it on integrated graphics, I was not able to turn the shadows on because, as we've told you, on integrated graphics, the shadows are not optimized for integrated graphics, but on dedicated GPUs, oh, that's when things get very beautiful. So it's interesting to see how powerful Univah can be on an integrated graphics PC, but on a dedicated graphics PC, it's incredible. So we can push the shadow quality even all the way up to 4K, and the frames per second, the performance doesn't die. So that's just incredible. I'm going to be testing the shadows for you guys. I'm doing this mainly for your benefit because I know you guys have been wondering where the shadows are in a lot of our recent videos. So the video that I made before this, that one was done on a integrated shared GPU. And as you saw yourself, the quality was exceptional. So we're achieving lifelike quality on integrated graphics. So when you see that we're able to achieve that quality without using an expensive computer, it just makes it even better watching videos like these. Because if all we do is show you how Univah runs on a 5070, that's not really going to be too realistic for most people because most people don't have a 5070 RTX computer, you know? So we try to really show most of our videos running on computers that we know. There's a very high chance you have a computer that's better than what we are running Univah on. So that's actually our approach. We try to show you Univah working on PCs that are less than the ones that we know you guys have. I know for a fact, most of you watching this video, you have at least an Nvidia GTX 1060 at home, right? So if we show you that Univah can run on computers that are less than that, then you'll know for sure you have no problem. Yeah. So that's really our approach. All right. And what I recommend that you guys do whenever you download Univah to try it, just go to Polyhaven. They have some pretty good 3D models there, some pretty awesome textures, and some nice HDRI maps that you can download and try in Univah. All right, so this looks good. And again, everything that you're seeing in the scene, with the exception of the man on bike, the man on the bicycle, that is part of Univah. So he comes with Univah in the library. Everything else in the scene, I downloaded from polyhaven.com. So please do download Univah Lite right now and try to recreate this scene yourself in Univah Lite. Everything that you see us doing, you'll be able to do in Univah Light. Okay, so go ahead and try Univah today, have some fun with it, and I'm also showing you which assets I'm downloading from Polyhaven so that you can do the exact same thing with me. You can follow along with me. All right, so yeah, we're just going to extract it. And okay, and then we're going to import. Yeah, let's look for that one. Okay. Now we're going to import what we just downloaded from Polyhaven. And I'm not going to fast forward through this because I want you to see the realistic import speeds, import times. I want you to see exactly how Univah works. So I'm not going to over edit this at all. I'm going to leave everything in there raw, just the way I recorded it on the screen. So you can see this is how we prove that Univah is legitimately as great as we say it is. As a matter of fact, we don't talk it up enough. Okay, so we just imported this really cool rocky surface from Polyhaven. And I have placed it over there because it looks nice over there. That's a nice little backdrop, so that's cool. And we can add water. If we add the ocean, we can use the gizmos to push it up, push it, and pull it up, push it down. And as with everything else in Univah, the ocean has parameters, just like the clouds. So you can change the color of the ocean, you can change the speed of the animation of the waves, you can change the direction of the waves, you can change how reflective the ocean is, you can control if the ocean has reflections or not, you can control where the sun shines on the ocean. So that glare from the sun, you can control that, you can move it around. So everything in Univah, we never just give you ocean, we give you ocean plus parameters, clouds plus parameters, fog plus parameters. Everything has parameters. You should be able to tweak all these things. Okay. That's what makes it a professional tool. If we just give you ocean and you can't tweak it, that's boring. All right. Okay, so you get the point. I'm not actually going to keep that ocean. I just wanted to show you how quickly you can add these different elements into the scene to create whatever it is that you're going for. Alrighty, so we are back, and pay attention to the FPS, guys. Okay, pay attention to the fact that we have all these assets in here, and these aren't cheap, assets. These are 4K. Some of them are 8K assets, and we have an entire ocean in the scene. We had all these things going on, and the scene is not slowing down. Now I have duplicated that rocky surface asset from Polyhaven, and I've made 2 copies. I'm going to place one behind. It looks pretty cool there. Okay. I like it. It's looking good. Okay. Yeah, maybe just push it up like that. Okay, so right now I have the scene lit in a pretty standard way. If we're going for a time of day type of lighting, so we can say this is midday, we can change it to evening, we can do whatever we want. It's 3D, so that's what makes a great engine, being able to change very quickly from daytime to nighttime, simply by changing the environment map, changing the light type, light intensity, and light direction. Because obviously the sun during the evening will be at a different direction, right? Probably towards the horizon. So, uh, yeah. Right now, what I've done though is I have actually temporarily disabled the directional light just so you can see other types of lights. I've added a point light, I believe. Or is this a spotlight? This one is a point light, yes. I love point lights. They're some of my favorite types of lights. And this is really why Univah is so important. This is part of the reason why Univah is so powerful. It's being able to do stuff like this. This workflow is everybody's dream, okay? Everybody I know that does 3D work wants to be able to work like this at this fidelity in the viewport. So we don't believe that the viewport should be some low quality preview. We're really going for final pixel rendering directly in the viewport. We don't want to have stick figures in the viewport and then have an AI workflow where the stick figures, magically become Tyra Banks or Michael Jackson. Like we don't believe in that kind of workflow, because if you're leaving it all up to AI to make things look good, number one, you don't feel any sense of accomplishment when you work that way, because you really didn't create that. Number two, you will have no scene. There will be no scene or original scene file. Your original scene file is just going to be a bunch of cubes instead of people. So it's much better being able to save a scene like this at this fidelity than other software companies that are focusing on AI, where they just add a bunch of low quality proxies in the viewport, and then they go to AI, type some prompts, and then those proxies become, a Lamborghini. So yeah, we don't believe in that, and quite frankly, that's a very boring way to work. And I can guarantee you, after you've done that for a month, you're going to be tired of working that way. So having high fidelity in the viewport, having the final quality be what you see in the viewport, that's revolutionary, because there's no tool that's ever done that. We're the first to do this, to prioritize this. And we believe, and everybody believes, everyone who's watching us and watching this tool and paying attention to this tool, they all see what we're doing and they agree this is the future. Why would they not agree? It's incredible. Look at what I'm doing right now, all in real time. Who doesn't want to be able to do this in their software? So we're doing all these incredible things. We're doing now a motion graphics effect using rReligionVFX. And everything is really high fidelity. I can work on all types of different ideas at very high fidelity. I don't have a real-time ray tracer that has to path trace and my viewport gets grainy every time I change the direction of the camera or change something in the viewport. I don't have those problems because Univah Film Engine does not use ray tracing. So the viewport is always at high quality, at final pixel. It's always final pixel ready. Very, very cool. So yeah, that was a very quick example of a motion graphics effect. And it's not just cubes, as you guys know. Religion is powerful. It can duplicate anything. With one click of a button, you can do this with any selected object. So now I have selected the guy with the bicycle. And in Religion, I have now with one click created a grid distribution. You see? Incredible. All these high fidelity characters, and the frames per second is still very high. Amazing. So this is really cool, because if I want to make a crowd, if I want to make, a street, let's say I'm animating a bicycle race, right? I'm animating a bicycle race in Univah. Well, clearly I'm not going to be racing against myself. There has to be other people that are on the street or the road. So I just duplicate one guy multiple times. And then I use my random effector to randomize these instances. And then after I use my random effector to randomize this so that it doesn't look so uniform, and then I can use my style effector to change the clothing for each one of these so that it looks like different people. You see? Very quickly. With three different effects, I can totally transform this into a whole city full of different bicyclists, people riding bikes on the street, on the road. And all I have to do is import one. I import one, and then I use rReligionVFX to make millions, hundreds. Look at that, you know? So it's so powerful. It's such a powerful tool. Wow. And look, guys, let's be clear, okay? Some of you get it. A lot of you, actually, a lot of you do get what I'm about to say. But for those of you who don't, is the Univah Film Engine the first software on the planet to have motion graphics? No. So why are we so different? Well, we're different because if you go to Cinema 4D, you're not seeing this. What you're seeing right now, you will never, okay, you have never seen this in Cinema 4D. True or false? You have never worked this way in Cinema 4D. Even though Cinema 4D has MoGraph, yes, Cinema 4D has a cloner and it can clone things, but you have never worked in Cinema 4D the way you're working, the way you see me working in Univah right now. Okay, not at this fidelity. In MoGraph and Cinema 4D, you have to use the viewport doesn't look anywhere this good. First of all, it's a gray blob. You're working with gray untextured objects, and then you're baking them, you're caching them so that the performance can be high. But since this whole time, this 20 minutes we've been working, have you seen me bake anything? Have you seen me cache anything? You see, I haven't baked anything. I haven't cached anything. I haven't had to use any random tricks in order to improve performance. This is raw, live, real time, high performance. So when we tell you that the Univah Film Engine is really, really optimized and it's really meant to handle very large scenes, we're not lying. Okay? It's a planetary renderer. You saw in the beginning how I added the entire planet Earth. I added clouds, I added more clouds, I had different layers of clouds, and the software was not at all slowing down. It was very responsive. The FPS was above 300, and I was rendering an entire planet to scale. I was rendering an entire planet to scale with multiple layers of volumetric clouds. These aren't just clouds that are there for decoration. They are alive. They are moving. They are animated clouds. You can fly inside of them. They have volume. They are volumetric. These are VBDs. They are volumetric clouds. Okay, and I added several layers of them, and Univah was still at over 300 FPS. So very, very cool. I'm just adding some lights now so you can see. I'm doing this mainly for your benefit so you can see how Univah looks. Okay, with different light sources, different light types, combining different lights. Okay, let's do some animation, guys. So I'm going to animate this light going back and forth. This is great. Now, when we push play, and we're going to loop this animation. Let's put this on loop, add an end marker and a start marker, and let's push play. There we go. So now we have an animated light. Okay, so you have animated light, which means the shadows are animated, which means everything that the light touches has an animation. Okay. And while the animation's playing, here comes the power of Univah. Okay. This is just Univah showing off. At this point, Univah is showing off. While the light animation is playing, I can change the light color. Wow. I can change. Univah is so powerful. It's a live editing powerhouse. I can change just about anything on the fly. While the animation is playing, I can change anything. Wow. Wow. Live editing powerhouse. So I'm going to animate this guy and I'm going to push play. So now he has some sort of animation. Okay, so you can start to see how this is going to look once we have our animation feature finalized and you're able to import animated FBX, animated Alembic files. So the reason we are not yet showing you our animation system is because we are writing ours basically from scratch. Okay, we are writing a very highly optimized animation system and we're writing it from scratch. So it's a lot of work, but once it's done, we'll never have to worry about things breaking or libraries breaking because we're writing it ourselves. Okay. So once we have that, you're going to see our animation system. So we're holding off on showing that because I don't want to show you something that is not finalized. Okay. All right. So just imagine this guy walking with his bicycle. Okay. That's how beautiful he's going to look when he's animated. Look at that. When he's animated and he's walking, actually walking like one foot in front of the other foot. Look at that. And his bicycle wheels are turning. Wow. The fidelity is high. The light is animated. The shadows are animated. And he is walking with his feet, with those legs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at him go. Look at our rocks. We have rocks on the floor. Look at that. He has a phone. He's a man. He's very manly. He's doing man business on the phone. Okay. So it's really good. It's really, really great. And I am excited. I'm super excited. I hope you're seeing the potential of this engine, of this software. We have a lot that we're doing. And we're doing a lot of stuff from scratch. We write our own physics from scratch. We wrote our own physics. So um, we do use libraries, don't get me wrong, but there are certain things in Univah that are so proprietary that it's better if we just write our own stuff ourselves. So we write a lot of stuff ourselves. So rReligionVFX, of course, we wrote that from scratch. Our rendering algorithms, we wrote that from scratch. Uh, so the periodic table system, obviously we wrote that from scratch because that never existed before us. So there's no software that has that. So yeah, we are writing a lot of things from scratch, and then once it is ready, we will show it to you. Okay. All right. So you will be able to import fully animated FBX animations with facial animations, blend shapes, all of that fun stuff. And then in Univah, you'll also be able to do it natively in Univah. We want you guys to be able to natively animate the face using blend shapes. So we're going to have a blend shape facial animation controller inside Univah that will be able to animate the face and all of these things we are working on. Okay. So just stay tuned. It's coming. It's coming. It's just a lot of work, but it's coming. Okay. We want you to be able to do as much as possible inside the engine. And that way, the only times you have to import something is when it's, you know, maybe something very, very complicated that you did specifically in Maya. Then you can just import that as an Alembic file into Univah, and you can light it in Univah, shade it in Univah, render it in Univah. Okay. So we are going to be adding the Voice, we want you to be able to do your facial animations, which includes, of course, voice acting. So you need to be able to have your lips moving, and that kind of animation can be very daunting if it's not done in the easiest way possible. So we are also working on not only a beautiful facial animation system, but we're also working on a beautiful lip syncing system. Okay. So there's a lot coming. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.